You got to do this from your heart, meaning your inner soul.
So they always say, keep checking your plants daily. And I have been doing that. I've been trying to make sure no real issues are kind of arising. But the last few days, I've noticed something a little unsettling. I noticed there were like an insane amount of ants running around my lettuce plants. So that upon further inspection of my romaine leaves, I noticed little white kind of bugs starting to develop. Those are known as aphids. They basically just want to suck juice out of your plant. They're really not great to have. They're not really like poisonous, and until there's a real big infestation, they can't really harm your plant. But what it does do is the aphids give off this sort of residue called honeydew that ants like. So what that does is it attracts ants, and the ants actually go into the soil, pick up the aphids, and bring them to the leaves. And they do that because they want that honeydew. So it's like a symbiotic relationship between the two, and one that is not good for the garden. Now I'm trying to keep this organic, so what I don't want us to do is spray anything with it. So what I've been doing is trying to monitor it daily, keep an eye out, and try and remove them by hand when necessary, spray them with water, but what that's doing is damaging the delicate leaves, which hasn't been working so well. I found a whole bunch in my ruby red, which I wasn't sure of because the leaves are curly, so you really have to dig deep in there. And once I saw that it was in the ruby red, in the romaine, and it's probably going to become more of an issue if I don't take care of it more efficiently, I knew I needed help. I needed to build an army. There's really only one kind of army that's going to do the job, and that is ladybugs. And not just ladybugs. I got myself praying mantids. Between these two things, I'm really crossing my fingers this will do the trick. You can pick these up at your local garden center, or I'll leave a link down in the description. You can actually get these guys delivered. Now the problem with having a lot of ants in your garden is that they really kind of deter good insects from eating the aphids. So we're about to drop a ladybug bomb in the middle of my garden, which I have no problem with. Ladybugs are my favorite. Even if they land on me, I let them just chill. But the one thing we have to do first is wait till it gets dark, let it cool down. We're gonna give this a nice water so it's nice and moist and cool, and then we're gonna release these guys into the garden tonight. We do that because that's gonna create an environment in which they're gonna wanna stay in, and so we're gonna wait tonight and then we're gonna add them. So we'll check in a bit later tonight. Oh, and one other thing, since it's been really hot out and I don't have my shade cloth yet because deliveries are all backed up, I have this umbrella that I'm using to sort of shade out some of the intense midday sun. And then what I'll do after it's gotten like an hour, hour and a half of sun and it starts to feel a little wilty, I'll go in and with this mist spray, just give it a nice cool mist down. This water is cool, it's probably, I don't know, 50 degrees. So doing that and keeping the soil nice and moist and cool is gonna do a lot in helping the lettuce greens survive the hot summer. I only like to mist it once the sun goes down or the raised bed is covered in shade. These guys will wait till it gets dark. These mantids still haven't hatched, so I'm just gonna ignore them for the rest of this video and focus on the ladybugs. Once it gets dark, you really wanna just soak the leaves. The ladybugs are thirsty, and this is gonna give them water to drink and create an environment that's gonna make them wanna stay in the garden. I already know there's plenty of aphids for them to feed on, so I just wanna make sure there's enough water. Then I just took the ladybugs and just kind of distributed them around the garden in a couple of tomato pots and just tried to get them everywhere that I could. So it's the morning after I unleashed the ladybugs, and It appears like a majority of them hung around and went to work eating up some of those aphids. As far as I can see in the romaine plants, the aphids seem to be minimizing. So I'm giving them time to do their work. Then hopefully in a few days, they're still around, most of the aphids are all gone, and the problem is solved. We just sort of take each problem as they come. We had an aphid problem, figured out how to solve it, and hopefully that did the trick. So I'll keep you updated on the garden as problems arise or I learn new tricks. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.